So one of the lessons we've learned over the last few years is that we need to make our infrastructure as future ready as possible, and that needs to be a topic which is always on the agenda. And I think what this means is that we're always thinking about how we can get more efficiency, more reliability, more safety and security from our infrastructure, and how we can do that always in a more cost-effective way going forward. One of the big lessons the service has learnt from was WannaCry a few years ago, and that really led to some very severe outages in places across the country. What we understood from that was that we were not investing enough in those standard infrastructure technologies to make sure that that sort of security, safety and reliability was there. The reason that came up, though, was because, of course, like all public services, we're financially pressured. And we had always been focusing, in general, our investments on patient-facing services rather than on services that underpin patient activity, such as digital. And so we sort of lost, the eye went off the ball in some places on that. Now, of course, there's a big local and national response to all of that. But it's still very hard because, organisations will have maybe tens of thousands of end user devices and server, capabilities. And all of that has to be refreshed on a regular basis. All of that has to be thought about. So it's a bit like saying, in financial terms, all of this is a contractual responsibility, and we have to deliver that before we can deliver anything else on top of it. And so there's a sort of a shift going on. Now, there's no doubt we're finding it hard. I think trying to make that shift in financial spend on these infrastructure technologies where, in effect, it may mean you can't see, one additional patient. What it will do is give you confidence that when you do see your patients, nothing goes wrong, or the likelihood of that is significantly reduced. And so we have to get into what I would call this space around negative return on investment. Very often when business cases are presented, we sort of say, well, how many years do we get payback? How many extra patients can we treat? How much income does that bring? That sort of equation. The negative ROI, as I would put it, is, well, actually, if we don't do this, we won't be able to see the existing patients that we see, and that will start to cut off the tap in terms of the income that we need. And that's what we saw in WannaCry. So I think that future ready piece is really critical, and it needs to be a big chunk of the work of the digital agenda going forward.